Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to 21 Questions. I am your host, IC. I am the host, I am the founder of the Sitdown UK, and this is our weekly interview segment called 21 Questions. And today we have YouTuber Adella Afadi, a great content creator, and we're going to be sitting down with her, unpacking her journey thus far and just finding out what it means, what the realities of being a YouTuber. If you're joining us for the first time ever, well, welcome. Please press that follow at the top. We've got like 70, I keep not knowing the exact number, but we've got about 76 episodes. I believe it's 76 now, that you can go back and check out from 21 Questions. We've had 21 Questions with Zizi Mills, William Adewasi, oh my gosh, TED Ness, so many people, oh my gosh, so many people. Check it out on our IGTV, or you can check it out on our YouTube channel. Just click the link in the bio. Everything is in the link in the bio. We have our first event next Tuesday of 2022. Our first event, Tuesday the 1st of March, is the Sit Down live event with Shola Amma. So if you know about 90s R&B, if you're a fan of that music, if you're a fan of hers, you need to be there. We're going to be unpacking her story with a very intimate audience, and she's going to be sharing her life story and the ins and outs of what it means to win a Brit Award at 18 years old and deal with the pressures of fame and deal with everything that comes with it. So tickets are in the link in the bio if you want to get some. Come with a friend. It's an experience. It's not an event. It's not even an event. It's an experience. We've got food, so you can come and get food from work, drink, prizes, surprises, things you can win on the night, the networking that is available there, the atmosphere, the jokes. Look, it's been a mad week. So come, let's chill together, vibe together. Just for a couple of hours, let's just shut out the world for a couple of hours and just come and have an amazing event. So Tuesday the 1st of March, next week Tuesday, click the link in the bio, buy tickets, and now. All right. Cool, let me know how you guys are doing. It's been a heavy week. It's been a mad heavy week. So in the comment section, and let me know, how are you feeling? So that can be represented through an emoji, that can be text. How are you feeling right about now? Adella, I'm going to come over to you. Feeling. We got Leslie in the building. Good to see you, bro. Juliet, tired but good. Good evening.
Hi.
You right?
Good, thanks. How are you?
I am good, man. I love your background. Jeez.
Oh, thank you.
it looks serious. Okay. Yeah, it looks calming. How are you today? You said that you was up like 5 a.m. this morning.
Yeah, I'm trying. I'm so tired. I can't lie. I just had a nap.
Were you lying down and you just got up like that?
Yeah, I set an alarm because obviously I can't miss this.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've been trying to wake up at 5 a.m. So far, so good. But last night I got home kind of late, and I knew that was a mistake as soon as I did it. But I'm feeling it today. But all good.
But you're committing to it.
Yeah, I'm committing to it. I need to.
And there's a lot of people joining you in it.
Yeah. I'm surprised. Well, I was hoping they would. To be honest, the only reason I was shouting about it on Instagram was because I knew if I didn't, I wouldn't do it. I would. So, yeah. No,
I love it. Good. How are you today? I mean, this week has been a heavy week. How are you making it through your days?
I'm okay. I think life for me personally, life is good.
Mm-hmm.
Work is good. But I've been really busy, so I think that's how I'm just making it through, just being busy.
100%. Well, everybody, welcome to those who are joining us. Welcome to 21 Questions with Adella Afadi. Am I saying your surname right?
Yes, Afadi.
Come on. Guys, welcome. If you've never ever joined us on 21 Questions, this is what we do every Thursday, 9 p.m. Get guests on and we unpack their story. We've got like 75 episodes that you can check out. So click our IGTV button, or you can watch it on YouTube for free. Like I said, 1st of March is the Sit Down with Shola Amma. I can't wait. It's going to be lit. So if you want to come down, make sure I grab tickets by clicking in the link in the bio. Just buy tickets, come on down. But tonight is Adella's night. And thank you for joining us on 21 Questions. Big up Raquel for the connect.
Yeah.
Appreciate that. So we've got 21 questions or more, and you have only one pass card. Mm-hmm. So you have the opportunity to skip a question. In the 75 episodes that we've had, only one person has used their pass card. Mm-hmm. So no pressure. But yeah, we're going to start a quick fire round, just questions that come off the hip. And as you answer them, as they come to you, answer them. Yeah. You ready?
Yeah.
Oh, you come on like that. I love that. All right, cool. Name one purchase that you regret. One purchase, something that's sitting in your wardrobe that you regret.
Ooh. You know what? Okay, so it's not one thing, but I have, because I'm quite tall, and for so long I would just kind of accept that like clothes don't really fit me properly. But recently, I've made a decision that I'm only gonna buy like quality items that fit me. So there's quite a few trousers in my wardrobe that are just too short, and I'm just like, oh, it'll do. I wish they weren't there. So there's not one. There's just like
there's a couple. We got Keith in the building. Hubby. Something that what are you most proud of? And this doesn't have to be like YouTube related, but just like in general in life.
I'm quite proud of my career, like 9 to 5. I feel like I'm good at my job. So
what is your role?
So I am my title at the moment is branded content and creative manager. Which is basically a content manager. So I look after digital content at the company I work for. So that's like a bit of social media, emails, website, that sort of thing.
Okay. Yes, and it kind of easily feeds into what you do in terms of YouTube. Cool. Favorite place to eat? You would go there 1,000 times.
My mom's kitchen.
Is she on the live? That's why you said that.
No, she's not. No, she's not. Well, anything that she makes for me.
What does she cook? What does she cook that you love?
Tanzanian. So she makes some nice Tanzanian food. If there's any Tanzanians, East Africans in the live. I love rice. So like we have wali and marage, which is just rice and beans, but very simple. But I love it every day.
Come on, we got Mumsy. What's the last program that you binged on? Really, like, could not leave your seat?
Love is Blind.
So I'm watching that. You've watched the whole thing?
No, I haven't finished it.
Okay.
The whole 5 a.m. thing, I'm like ripping myself away to go to sleep. But Love is Blind.
So you're watching the comment one?
Yeah.
This program, this program, like, it's just funny.
I love it.
It's a great concept. Yes. Come on. Hearts in the comment section. Your love language is words of affirmation. Mm-hmm. So what DM or YouTube comment have you ever received that really kind of stuck with you? Like a positive one that really, really stuck with you?
That's hard. I've got a really bad memory. I think some comments that I get that are people who have been subscribed from like way back at the beginning, because I've changed, content's changed a lot. So sometimes people comment saying like, oh, I've been following you since like Cornflakes No Sugar, which is what my name used to be, and they just like appreciating the growth, and they're seeing the growth because they like know what I was like before. As in I was kind of the same, but my content was very different. So I really appreciate when people sort of say, I've been an OG subscriber and I really love the growth, and I love seeing where you are now. So I really appreciate it.
Love it. If there's anybody in the building at the moment who's like a long-term fan, like an OG at day one, let us know in the comment section. What YouTuber do you most admire?
Ooh. Very hard. Um, I know this is a cheap answer, but my sister and my brother-in-law are on YouTube, and obviously I look up to them as like siblings, so I'd have to say them.
Honourable shout out. Honourable shout out. Favorite thing you used to do as a child?
Art. I used to love
Okay.
art. Yeah, I'd say art.
Nice. Do you still do any stuff?
No, not really. Like I recently, maybe like, the first lockdown, I bought some art supplies and I started, and then I kind of
No, that's
like,
it.
yeah.
No worries. Crazy lie that you told when you was younger.
Crazy lie. Ooh.
White lie.
I honestly can't remember. Like
Good.
I didn't lie, but um,
Can't really know. No worries, no worries. Quick fire, quick fire. Who is your biggest supporter outside your husband, outside your immediate family?
is she gonna say my husband? My biggest supporter outside my husband. Honestly, just some of my subscribers. Like, there's some names that if they pop up, I recognize them,
Yeah.
and they're just always there, like bigging me up, and I really appreciate it because they don't have to do that. So
Yeah, 100%, 100%. One question, if you could ask one question to God, what would that question be?
ooh. If I could ask a question to God, I'm not gonna lie, I'd be like, am I coming to heaven?
Let me know now,
I'd be like, my
please.
name is there, right? Like, when the
Yeah,
time
yeah.
comes,
Love
just
it.
to triple check.
Favorite worship song?
Place of Worship by William McDowell.
Oh, how did that go?
Oh, that's it. um, the lyrics say, I feel like I need the melody in my head before. Basically, it says, "Oh, how I love this place of worship," and it's like really slow, and it just gets me in
Come
the
on,
zone.
singer. There's
No, I
some
can't sing.
harmony. There was some harmony there. I don't know what's that one. Okay, cool. Yeah, cool. We're done. We're done. Yeah, we're done. Yeah, cool. That was a light work. It was light
Yeah.
quick fire. All right, cool. Let's get into it. So, big up to everyone that has joined us. I wanted to ask, starting from the beginning as we always do, how I've done this, like I said, at least 75 episodes, at least. And every single time I talk to people, their childhood, you cannot escape how your childhood shapes you. You cannot escape it. And I wanted to ask, how has your upbringing shaped who you are now? Positively, negatively?
Sorry, I'm just gonna put my glasses on because everything's
That's
looking a
fine.
bit. I
We
forgot
got
that.
to Gloria and Leonie in the building. We see ya.
Um, how's my childhood shaped the way I am? It really has, which is crazy because like in the movies where they're like, "Oh, tell me about your childhood." I always thought that was just like a thing that they do in movies, until I did therapy and realized, oh no, like this is real. Because I wouldn't say my childhood was great. Like I have no complaints, but obviously little things in your childhood shape the way you are now. So I'd say like being a last born, that's very much like shaped who I am. And I guess the negatives are also the positives in a weird way. So for example, I am a little bit of a people pleaser. I think that came from childhood and not sort of wanting confrontation and being sort of the last born who would just listen to whatever I was told. And so obviously in some cases that's not necessarily great because I have to stand up for myself.
True.
But in other areas, I think it makes me really empathetic. So because I am trying to please people, it makes me just conscious of like how people are feeling and
Yeah.
trying to make people happy, I guess. So
Yeah. I remember that's when I messaged you. That's about your therapy video. That's where I can really, really connect and resonate because I'm the oldest though, and
okay.
with with being the oldest, you're always told, your siblings are watching you, and you are the example. And so, okay, what means I have to listen to everything that's going to make me the example. I have to do everything that everybody wants me to do, to be that example.
Yeah.
And you lose your voice in that. You lose your voice in that. You lose your voice in because everybody else is wiser or seen as wiser than you. Everybody else knows better. And so I don't think you, well, personally, I didn't grow up with a voice and grow
Okay.
up knowing I had a voice. I had to, how old am I? Jeez, I'm 39. I had to, in the last maybe 4 or 5 years, understand, oh, what you say matters, and
Mm,
what you say has weight, and what you say has value. And
yeah.
yeah, I mean, did this for you, was any of it culturally as well, being from an African background?
No, not really, you know. Like
No, okay.
my mom's quite westernized. I don't know if she'd agree, but she's quite westernized, quite liberal. I think it just came from practicality of like it's those two of us. I was the last born. My sister would just assume responsibility, and like she was just more proactive.
Yeah.
And so yeah, I'll just find myself just following, but like happily.
Hmm.
But now that I'm an adult, I'm realizing that like you can have your own opinion on things. You can have a stance, and you can, because like I'm a sucker for a good argument. Like if somebody says, if I feel strongly about something and someone has a good argument, I can quite easily be like, oh, okay, yeah, I hear your point. So that's not always bad, but I
Yeah.
think yeah, I'm having to now navigate like, yeah, just being sure in myself as well.
Yeah. Yeah. What has that relationship with your sister been like, from young to now? Her being the oldest, but you being the youngest. How's that kind of progressed along?
You know what? Our relationship's always been really, really good. Like we're really lucky. We've been so close. She's just 2 years older than me, so yeah, we've always been close, and I've always been happy for her to be the one in charge. The only thing I guess that has to shift as we've got older is that I got married, and there were times where I realized, oh, actually, I should go speak to my husband first about this thing
Oh
that I'm
wow,
thinking
yeah.
about. To run into my sister, which was like my default, and there'd be a few occasions where I realized, oh, that's actually not, or it might be a bit hurtful to him if rather than discussing something with him, I'm like running to my sister. So that's the only, um, yeah, that's the only change I've had to sort of make. But our relationship has stayed pretty much the same.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
then looking at the influence and looking at the way that individuals do shape us, in terms of your mum and your father, how have those individuals shaped you?
Um, hmm. So my mum, I feel like I see a lot of similarities in me and my mum. Like she's quite nice. I'd say she's a bit of a people pleaser as well.
Just quite, yeah.
um, so I think I think the way she brought us up has helped me and my sister be quite open. Like we're quite open. We're open to talk about, quite different from a lot of other African kids that I like when I hear about their upbringing. And it's quite like maybe there's certain things they wouldn't talk to their parents about. We were really really open with my mum. My dad, we
So,
were.
so sorry to interject, but that, you know, when you say that, it's so, again, I'm finding it in our generation now, I'm hearing it much more. Like the interview that I've done, I'm hearing much more that people are having these closer relations with their parents, whereby I can talk to you about anything. I was going to ask, what was it your mum did? Was there anything specific she did that helped you know that, okay, I can go to her about anything?
I think it was just her nature and her demeanor. She was just quite casual.
Okay,
She didn't make a big deal out of it, and she was quite playful as well. So she would just like ask us questions, but she was being nosy, but in a playful way. So,
okay,
but it also let us know that like, oh yeah, we can talk to her about this thing.
yeah,
She never gave us the impression or made comments about, I don't know, that would make me think I can't talk to her about certain things. And like I said, she's just always struck me as quite liberal.
yeah,
Um, but also kind of strict. It's weird. It was a weird thing, but yeah, I think it was just her demeanor. I think is what made us like comfortable in coming to her.
love that, love that.
Mm.
And then you were mentioning your father.
So yeah, my dad he passed away when I was 14, and before that we weren't like we didn't live together, but we were kind of close to him. I wouldn't say he had a massive influence on my life. I did have a stepdad that was in my life for like 8 years, and to be honest, that's one of the biggest revelations that came out of therapy was the effect that he had on my life, which is so weird because Obviously he did, because he was there from like when I was 5 or something, but I just didn't realize for a long time. And yeah, he was quite like a presence in my life, and so I think he influenced the person I am today a lot.
Wow.
Yeah.
Losing your father at that age, but not necessarily knowing him that well, does, because I've heard, there's a quote that says you can't miss what you've never had.
Mm-mm.
Was there a feeling of a gap there that, my father has gone? Or was that sucked up through your stepdad?
No, so this was after my stepdad had he was out of my life at this point.
Okay.
But so I would say we were close with my dad, but just because of the fact that he wasn't like in the same house
Yeah.
meant that when he passed, there wasn't that gap for me. Just because day to day it wasn't nothing was changing. Obviously, emotionally it was painful, but like day to day it wasn't like, oh, I wake up and he's usually there and he's not there.
Yeah.
I would even say that I miss him more now than I did back then.
Wow.
Which is weird. I don't understand that part.
Yeah, where did you don't know where that comes from?
I think it's just because I'm just more grown now, and I'm more like aware of the importance of a dad.
Yeah.
Whereas I was just young then. I was just like, life is life. But I think now, as I'm older, I just think, oh yeah, like I miss him more now than I did before, and like
Man,
I'm more, yeah, I don't know.
that's deep.
Yeah.
Someone listening, Tarry says, same story, Adella. Lost my dad at a young age. Mum married my stepdad. I never missed my dad because I never knew him. And a lot of people experience that sometimes. But that's interesting. It's so interesting you say that because, it's the older we get, we seem to understand the world a bit more and I guess understand our parents are individuals a bit more. Individuals that can make mistakes, individuals that will make mistakes. It's just not perfect. But that mirage that we had when they were younger, it just kind of disappears. And I guess we're more accepting. The influences that you had that have made you who you are, how does it inform how, if you choose to be a parent, how does it inform how you want to parent?
It makes me realize how like easy it is to mess up your kids. Like, just the smallest thing that I just didn't even think was significant has literally the person I am today. So it is kind of scary. Like I do feel like I have to be so intentional. There's no like I can't be lazy at all when it comes to God willing raising my own kids one day. And so but at the same time I understand that it's not realistic to kind of overthink every single interaction I have with my child. But I think the main thing is just to be what's the word, like observant and present, and like really know my child and know what they need, because I guess what might work for one child might not work for another.
Right.
So
Yeah, true.
I just have to have energy and time and patience.
I've got a 2-year-old, so no, I know what you mean. Is there anything for you that you remember specifically that changed you or again influenced who you are now, that you saw and was like, okay, that was a pivotal moment, that was a pivotal thing?
So I think with my stepdad, he was quite a dominant figure, and not always in the best way. Like he was strict basically, but like a bit hot and cold, so it was a bit uncertain. So I think that unfortunately had played a big part in me and my anxiety. Because I realized the trigger is usually like it is that unsureness and like me trying to I guess people please to control the environment, but for my own peace. So I think that was like I'm just gonna blame him for everything basically. I think that was like that was a big revelation for me, which is annoying in a way.
Yeah, because it's not like you chose that. That was
No.
that's on you. That's put on you, kind of thing, because of the environment you're in. No, but I hear you. I've got a 2-year-old, and I'm constantly 2-year-old girl. Even today, I took her to go and I went to get my haircut. I took her with me, And I don't know, it's nuts. She was in the back, and her boots came off, and I'm driving on the motorway, and she's like, you know, I want my boots. I'm like, I thought, okay, how do you react to this? Calmly. I said, I can't get your boots right now. I'm driving, but when we get to the hairdressers, I'll put it on. No, 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 I want my boots. You know, we're going to get to the place, and then I'll put the boots. And now you're screaming your head off. And when that happens, I can't concentrate too well when I'm driving. You know, as I was like, I said, when we'll get... So in the moment, I'm doing that.
Yeah.
It's justified, and it's, you know, this is the emotion that I have. This is the anger, the frustration. But then afterwards, you know, you're thinking, oh man, how is that going to affect her? And, you know, am I literally messing up her whole life with that response? But just like you said, I kind of realized that, you know what, it is a healthy balance. And there's a version, I've realized that there is a version of us that exists that we do not know until you have children. I'm telling you, there's a version of you that you do not know exists until you have children, because they will bring it out of you.
Yeah.
Oh gosh.
A good side of you, or?
Both. No, definitely both. Definitely both. And
I have a bad habit. I've noticed. I've got this bad habit where, like, I fail to, like, recognize kids as kids. If that makes sense. Like, I don't do baby talk.
it's not just you.
Sometimes, really, okay, because sometimes kids are doing stuff that I'm just like, does this make sense? Like, it's just making sense to you, but then obviously you have to, like, their brains are literally not developed. Like, they're not. I can't expect them to think rationally. But sometimes I see a kid do something, I'm like,
are you
rational?
okay? Yeah. Do you know? I have to always say that to my wife and to people that, you know, I have to remember she's only been on this earth for 2 years, so she only has a comprehension of the systems of this world, not even fully, but for 2 years. But when I say go to bed, in my mind, I'm like, why are you walking around in your room? I've said go to bed. So go to bed means you lie down still, quietly, and your body shuts down. That's not the reality. When I say sit still, or we're on the train, sit down, in my mind, I'm like, well, that's what we do. That's how it goes. But no. And so it's definitely understanding that, hey, it's going to take time for them to understand all that stuff. Ah, gosh. Well, soon you'll have your, and you'll see. Marriage. My wife, I've been married for 9 years.
Nice. Oh, sorry.
My wife's not in the chat, so that should be okay with that number. 9 years. And I remember she came back from a friend's holiday, and it was me, her friend, and we were in the room, and she was talking. And I remember I felt so relaxed, natural, calm myself. Before, I had been in relationships where I felt I had to alter myself and pretend I'm this, and so I'd never felt myself. But I remember that in that moment, in that conversation, I felt myself, and I said, I can marry this person. And I was wondering for you two, when was there a specific moment where the proposal hadn't come yet, but you were like, oh, you know what, this one I can marry?
Do you know what's funny? I always say that, like, I'd literally just, like, rolled into marriage. I didn't.
Rolled.
I literally didn't even stop to think about it, because it was, I think we were both of the mindset that, like, we're not really just dating out here today. So even just being with him as my boyfriend, that to me was like, okay, this is someone I can, like, to even accept to be his girlfriend, I had to know that I could marry him. And then for me, time would just be like, okay, well, if basically I decided, I can marry him. And then as the months, years went on, that nothing told me otherwise, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So there wasn't really a day where I was like, oh, I could marry this man. It was just from day one. He had the traits and the qualities of someone that I could marry. And as time went on, nothing ever told me otherwise. So then when he proposed, it was just like, oh, like, It was yes was the only answer. And then we got married. And then I remember afterwards thinking, oh, Adella, you're married. Like, did you even stop to think about it? I was like, no, I didn't. But there are just no red flags. So I just kind of, yeah, just went with the flow, I guess.
And even on the wedding day.
Good thing to do.
And even on the wedding day, how were you?
Um,
Any
yeah, when
jitters?
it kind of flew by. Like people kept saying, like the day will go really fast, and it really did.
Did you
There
eat?
were no, oh, I
Oh my
didn't.
gosh.
We had the best caterer. They literally served a plate and put it in front of us. But like your appetite was just nowhere to be seen. And then the next day, all you're thinking about is, oh,
Didn't even touch any of the
that
food.
food that I didn't touch. So yeah, it was just a blur. But it was beautiful because the main thing we wanted from our wedding was people, like the presence of God to be felt and for people to have a good time. That was literally the two. We kept saying that's the two things. So
That was our
whenever
two things.
is it?
Yeah. That's what
That was it. Like
yeah.
every time we were like, okay, people need food, they need good food, like the
Yeah.
DJ be popping, but then on top of that, like obviously the songs that we sing and the scripture that we read and all that kind of stuff.
Come on.
Yeah, it was good. It was a good wedding.
And so you enjoyed that day, top to bottom.
Yes. So I think I enjoyed more than my husband because like, I feel like it's the movie where they do a contrast. So like if the camera cut to me, it'd be like violins and me like getting my makeup done and drinking champagne. It's so peaceful. And then if it cut to my husband and the groomsmen, they were just like
Frantic.
the day after that he told me about all the things that were going wrong.
Oh
Like
my
we're
god.
having to run back to the house and pick this up, groomsmen forgetting their shirts and all sorts of things. So like I was like, oh, so now like I had a great morning. It was so chilled. But yeah, I had a good day. I don't know if you would say the same thing.
Good. You've talked about you've
That I
done.
was out about at 4 a.m. getting a donut. So I really wanted a donut all at the wedding, and yeah, we made it happen. Well, he made it happen.
We got Keith in the building. Yeah, Keith made that happen. 4 a.m. We were at. I remember it was going to midnight, and we were doing the table numbers and everything. But it was going to hit midnight, and we said once it hits midnight, we put our hands down, and we let the chips fall where they may. Literally hit midnight. I remember we hit midnight, and we were like, "That's it," and it enabled us to the days top to bottom. If there's any day to relive, it will be that one. Like we loved it. And
It.
sometimes I meet people and they're like, "Oh no, I hated my wedding day." I'm like,
Yeah.
whoa, like wow, of all the days to hate. So,
Yeah.
guys, it's not all about what's that thing? Table sashes and candles and sand. You got to enjoy it. I was going to say you've done videos on things that you guys have learned being married, and I was wondering for you personally, what is a lesson that you've learned, just one lesson that you've learned since being married that has really, really stuck out to you, and something that you live through that day to day.
Like a lesson I've learned about myself, or just something.
Both, actually, yeah, about yourself and then marriage.
A lesson I learned about myself is that I'm actually more selfish than I realized, which was a hard pill to swallow. I can't lie. I think partly because my husband is literally like the most selfless person you ever meet. It's like it's not normal. But also just realizing that I really like my space. Not my space. I'm really precious about my time. So having to share that and like sometimes like not being able to do what I had planned in my head to do, I'm like, whoa, this is a big invasion right now. And then in marriage, I guess I think the importance of like counsel.
Okay.
I think not that we haven't really had I wouldn't say we've had a difficult marriage, but I think if we did, the people that we have around us, we're really lucky that we have like really wise counsel around us and really
Yeah.
good people that would like slap us into shape and give us proper good advice. I think unfortunately, if people don't have that, it's much easier, I think, for the marriage to break down. So I think that's your village, your community is really important.
Yeah. I mean, something you mentioned in the first one in terms of what you've learned. I think it's one of sometimes people's biggest fear that I won't have me in a marriage. I'm going to lose myself. So how do you balance that? Having time for yourself, but then also servicing the marriage, servicing him? Or is
I
that
don't know.
still a work in progress?
I'm lucky that my husband he gets it, and he's like, he knows, like, I need my own time and my own space and stuff like that. I think, yeah, I guess just communicating. And something I learned very, very recently was, like, it is okay to say no. I think when I had the revelation that I was somewhat selfish, it then scared me into, like, always feeling like I should, if he needs something, he needs my time, I should always be yes, yes, yes. But I wasn't very good at it, because he knows when I'm lying, or when I don't. He'll be like, "Oh, can you help me with this thing?" I'm like, "Oh, you want me to help you with this thing?" And he'll be like, "You don't want to help me."
Yeah, you don't want to do it.
I'm like trying to get him to basically be like, "Oh, never mind."
Yeah.
So yeah, more recently, it's just been honest and be like, "You know what? Actually, no." I'm sorry, not now.
And you've talked about having issues in the past with confrontation, not wanting to be confrontational or to face confrontation. Has there been a time when you have had an argument where it was just, what am I trying to say? Has there been a time where you've had an argument or had a disagreement that it was so, not fierce, but, because if you haven't, I know this, if you haven't had a lot of confrontation, the moments you do have it are kind of shaky, like they shake the foundation of what you have, because you're like, whoa, okay, whoa.
Yeah.
I thought everything was rosy. Has there been times when you've had that?
Yeah. Do you know what's so funny is that me and my husband are so different, and he's like, if I was to, like, raise my voice higher than it is now, he's like, what, why are you shouting? I was like, so we've never had like scream. We've never, like, shouted at each other, which I feel like could be healthy, but it's not. Anyways, so we've never, like, been like, but we have. To be honest, I'm a crier. I'm just a crier. So, like, if the argument gets really bad, I will be bawling, because I cry anyway. But if I'm bawling my eyes out and, like, just tears are streaming, then it's real. And I think, yeah, what you said is funny, because sometimes I'll be, like, a bit dramatic, and I'm thinking, oh my gosh, what does this mean? Is this how it's going to be forever? Whereas he, I think, is more, like, realistic, and he's just like, yeah, anyways, like, we'll figure it out, type of thing. And then the next day, after I've cried and I've slept, I'm good again. So
Beautiful.
yeah, I think it is probably because I don't engage in confrontation too much. So when I do, I'm like, oh my gosh, like, this is the worst thing ever. But actually, it's not a deal at all.
No, I hear you. I think in past relationships, that's what that used to be the signal for me to get out. It was like, if we had an argument, it was like, oh my gosh. Okay, yeah, it's not meant to be. Oh, okay, cool. Thanks for that signal. And I was out. So I had to learn that, no, it's okay. It's okay to disagree, and the next day. And I think that's, sometimes people may not understand that fully about marriage. And especially if you look at Twitter relationship by Twitter says, if they're not doing this for me, then I'm not doing anything.
Because it serve you, I'm just like, oh.
But in reality, it doesn't go like that. It does take a lot of compromise. It takes a lot of, like you said, communication and understanding, and just a willingness to understand that, okay, we weren't great today, but we can be better tomorrow. And that's just how it goes.
Yeah, and I think marriage, I feel like the what I'm seeing, I don't know if it's just a social media thing, but what I'm seeing on Twitter, it almost is like, do you hate this person? Like, I don't know. I think if I focus on him and he focuses on me, then both of our needs will be met, as opposed to being like, what you do for me, that what you do for me, and then we're just beefing all day.
Yeah, selfless love. Selfless love is
hard though, but
it's hard. But it's the only fuel to marriage. Selfless love, because, like you said, let's fight about who does the dishes, because it's okay, babe, I'll do it. No, I'll do it. No, it's cool, I'll do it. No, I will do it. No, it's cool, I'll do it for you. Let's have that type of war, because we're both trying to selflessly help the other person. That's the kind of, I think I want those kind of arguments. I don't want any argument, but hey, putting it all out there. What has it been like putting your marriage and relationship out there for people to critique, to comment on, and what is your family's response been to you lot almost just sharing it all?
Do you know what? Like, I'm an open book. It doesn't actually bother me at all. Yeah, I'm comfortable with it. My family, to be honest, they're all right. They are they don't mind. I think sometimes my mom's like, oh, don't put me on Instagram, she calls it, but
Don't put me on what?
Instagrams. I always make fun of her. On Instagram. But no, they're cool. You know, they're fine. I'd say my husband's family are more private than my family, so I'm mindful of that, and I don't really I'm not like putting the camera in their face. But for the most part, the comments and stuff are fine. I don't really get anything negative. If I do, I just kind of like roll my eyes and I'm just okay. Because I mean, it's the nature of social media. I think people do love to share and give their opinions, and not necessarily maliciously, but yeah, I think it comes with the territory.
Yeah, 100%. Just a shout out to everyone that is joining us here. 21 questions with Adella Afadi. We've been talking about childhood, marriage. And so if you've joined us, please follow us. Go up there, click follow, and chill with us as we go through the rest of the interview. I want to ask about your person. I'm going to read you. I'm going to read you some comments.
That I've said.
No, that have been said about you.
Oh.
I've scoured Twitter, and hope you're ready.
Gosh, okay.
I haven't binged a YouTuber's content in forever, but Adella, elite. Adella is absolutely killing the YouTube game. Another one is, God, please grant me the eloquence of Adella. I'm East African as well. Thanks. And the last one says, one thing I do when watching Adella on YouTube is learn something new. That's deep. That's beautiful. And so,
I love words.
Yes, there we go. So I was wondering for you, you know, when you've had videos where you've talked about imposter syndrome, how are you at receiving these types of things, these types of comments, that type of love from your community? Is it something that you soak in and accept and embrace, or is there still some hurdles you have to jump over to get to that?
Good question. I mean, I love it. I live for compliments. I love them. I love a good compliment. You know what? I think I take it in momentarily, but I don't know if like on the grand scheme, long term, I do deep it that much. Sometimes I do need to stop and like really deep what they're saying, because that's a big comment, like a big compliment. And I think more recently, I'm probably getting better at like bigging myself up. Yeah, I don't know what I think maybe post therapy. I'm like, actually, no, I am eloquent or whatever the compliment is. So yeah. Someone said, "Are you East African?" I am. Well, I'm half East African, half Tanzanian, half Nigerian.
Hey, what tribe in Nigeria?
I'm Igbo.
Igbo, hey, Igbo. I'm Igbo and Yoruba.
Okay.
Yeah, combo. You know what? That's interesting that you said post therapy, because we'll lead on to that next. I've been going through therapy for the last year, shall I say? And it's so true. It's only post therapy that, you know, if it was me, you know, receiving these comments or receiving these flowers, would accept them and be like, yeah, why not? And what is it in therapy that has helped you be more accepting of yourself and your greatness, the greatness that is in you?
So I think it's because, like I said earlier, my weaknesses are also my strengths. So I've learned that like my traits are just my traits. Whereas when I went into therapy, I went in with those same traits, but thinking that they were negative. So I'd be like, oh, I'm non-confrontational, I'm anxious, I'm this, or I'm lazy, or whatever I might be. But it's like I'm looking at one trait, but I'm looking at it on this side, not realizing that actually that same character, that same personality trait on the same spectrum, there's a good side to it. So I think therapy helped me understand that, like, there's just, it is, this is how you are, you know, work on improving the negative aspect of that, but there's also a positive aspect that you can't just ignore. So like I said before, the fact, like, I'm quite a neutral person, and that was something that I thought was a bad thing. I was like, I have to take a stance, like, I'm so, like, go with the flow, blah blah blah. But actually I realized that is actually probably what my niche or my unique selling point is in my content, is that I do, when I talk about topics, I see both sides, because I do genuinely, like, it can be the most like polarized topic, but sometimes I'm still able to be like, okay, I don't agree with that side, but I can put myself in that person's shoes and be like, I understand why you think that way. So whereas, like, in some aspects it can be negative in the sense that, like, I'm easily swayed, but it's also, like, a good thing, and I should lean into that as well.
Yeah, that's true. And I guess that leans into the empathic side of you that you have, which is, and that ability to, jump in shoes. Like, this is the shoes that you might always be in, but you've got the ability to always jump into another pair of shoes. And you said, I like that you said, you know, focusing on the negative part, but sometimes we just leave that positive part over there. Like, and it reminds me of school. When we do a project or when we do a piece of work, our teacher, majority of the time, when they hand it back, our minds are wired to look for the red pen. Where is the red marking?
Yeah.
The ticks are there, but they're in black. The ticks are always in black, but the red, they always jump out to us. And I think it makes us grow up and think, even if the good is there, where is the bad that I need to work on? Where is the bad I need to get better at? Whereas really embracing that good part, like, it strengthens you even more. What is it that I'm good at? And if you ask people that question, it's so funny how they respond. If I say, what 3 things do you need to work on? I'm this, I'm this, I'm this. What 3 things are amazing about you?
Yeah.
It takes a while for us to dig that out, and maybe we just need to write the good things down for a while and just, you know, engulf that. Obviously, there's wisdom with that. There's what the Bible scripture says: do not think more of yourself than you ought to. Do you know what I'm saying? That's when we move over into pride and ego. But there's got to be a level where you ought to think of yourself and say, you know what? When a compliment comes our way, we assess it, we filter that. Is that true? Yeah, it is true. Okay, yeah, I love that. I'll take that. I love that. You talked about in your therapy video about picking a therapist. And I thought this was interesting because what you picked or what was picked for you was not necessarily what you felt you wanted. And for me, the therapist I picked, it was a black female woman, Christian. That's in my mind what I thought I wanted. But you got given a white male. And I was wondering, what if I chose another therapist, what would the outcome be in that regard? And so, I wanted you to tell us a bit about being given that therapist, what angle, coming from that angle that they're coming from, what has been the benefits of that? Because I would have thought, a black female, black male, Christian faith, but that would help. But
Yeah. Do you know what? I don't know. Like, I didn't want faith-based, interestingly, because I felt like, you know, if I'm gonna talk to God, I'll talk to God type of thing. But I wanted, like, some clinical, dig into my brain type of person. But I did want a black woman, just because I thought, I don't know about my childhood, and I say X, Y, and Z about my mom or whatever. I just assumed that, like, the cultural closeness would be like, oh, okay, she gets it. And I just wanted a woman because I just thought, a woman, I don't know, I'm a woman, I want a woman. But then, when I spoke to the person and then she recommended the therapist I had, I was a bit skeptical because I thought, what is the opposite of me? And it's a white man. I was a bit skeptical, but it's just so weird. Like, he was perfect for me. And I think what made him perfect was just it was really gentle. And I was, like, really fragile at the time. And I just needed someone to, like, just be really soft. And he was so gentle. He was so affirming. And actually, him being so different to me was maybe, it was almost like, I think it might made it easier, you know, because he was so far removed. I knew nothing about him. I knew nothing about him, his personal life, because obviously he didn't share that. But I also didn't know anything about him, like his culture, anything. And so it almost, I think it makes it easier because you're not overthinking.
True.
Like what the person might be thinking or what they're like. It's almost like talking to a stranger that's really, really good at helping you unpack stuff.
It's true. No, that's true. Then might give it a chance. Give it a go.
Yeah.
All right. 2 more things I wanted to talk about was looking at YouTube, being a YouTube content creator now, and changing from cornflakes and no sugar. What was the trigger to change the content and the kind of approach that you had to now be just Adella Afadi? I can't say it. What was the change in that? The reason?
So the name change, practically speaking, I got married and I thought, okay, so this is, God willing, this is my final name, you know? And I just thought, if I want to become a name, let me just use my name. So it was really like a practical change. And then in terms of the content, I don't know, you know, I think it was just a natural progression. Like, I'd always said that my thing, not even just with my channel, just in general, what like pulls me is I really want to help people, especially women. And I know it's quite broad, but I was always like, especially young girls, like, I feel drawn to like help them. And so occasionally I'll talk about stuff. And then I think what was a turning point into the content I create now was I actually saw another girl, which is so interesting. She's an American, I can't remember her name now, American YouTuber, quite big. And she actually quite recently mentioned me in one of her videos. So I thought that was such a weird, like she kind of me and now, yeah. So she does video essays, and then I watched one and I was like, wow, this format is so interesting. It's so like cool. I kind of talk about things of this nature, but I like the way she's sort of structured it with the facts and the research and that kind of stuff. So I was like, okay, let me try that. And I did one video. My first one was let's talk about beauty standards or something like that. And yeah, the response was so good, and I was like, oh, I might have found my thing. So yeah, I just carried on doing that, and it just seemed to work. And I don't want to be those people that's like, I'm not like other girls, but like I really found myself not agreeing with a lot of the things I would see online. I was like, it can't just be me, because I'd be on Twitter, I'd be whatever, and I'd be like, this, I don't agree with this at all. So like, I guess when I started making my videos, it was like, guys, let's think about this a little bit more. Let's like see a different perspective. And then it turns out loads of people are like think the same way. So it's definitely not just me. But I think maybe for my subscribers, it's not something that they see a lot from maybe my demographic, maybe young Black British woman, I don't know, but like there are other YouTubers out there like me, but I think maybe in where I am in the corner of the world, maybe not so much.
Yeah, 100%. And I remember I came across your videos, and it was just I can't remember what it was. You were just laying out the information just in that type of essay way, where it was like, okay, I can really follow this, and the facts were there, and it was that neutral stance that I thought, oh, I like that, because you know there's 2 sides of it. You know, there's that video, men are trash, and so are we. I was like, huh?
Oh God, I was shaking when I uploaded that one. I was like, they're gonna cancel me.
I was like, whoa, that is bold in a men are trash climate. But I think that does make you stand out. What for you? Yeah.
I would just say as well, I think I have to give props to my husband, because I do think what I say is good, and I do how I do it is good, but the way he edits it, if I was to just post it without the edits, I don't know if it would have the same effect. But like he's really conscious of almost like what keeps people engaged, the music, the flow. Like there's literally no chance for you to like be like, all right, I'm gonna head out. So I think I have to give him.
That's very true. We got to Keith again.
Never stop.
What are the realities of doing YouTube? Because nowadays, if you go into a classroom and you say, guys, what do you want to be? You're gonna have people be like, yeah, I want to be a YouTuber. Yeah, I want to be a content creator. But what for you, if you were standing before that class, would be your advice to them? What are the true realities of being a YouTuber and a content creator? What does it take?
I think it's so saturated now, not necessarily in a bad way. I feel like everyone can do what they want type of thing, but you have to stand out. Like, you can't just be mediocre almost and get away with it, unless you're beautiful. I'm not gonna lie, sometimes sometimes with some people, and I'm like, you're literally doing nothing, but I know people are clicking on this because you're buff. Anyway, but yeah, I think you can't be mediocre. I think you really do have to like bring something different, and it is quite data driven as well. So like, you really have to know how to I guess hack the algorithm type of thing. So I wouldn't advise that people want to do it because they think it's an easier path. I think it's just as hard as any other thing, just in a different way. You just have to be committed to that as well.
What are the hard parts you find about it?
I think for me, what's hard at the moment is just because I do work full time, and I do enjoy my job, but just time. That's literally why I'm waking up at 5. Like, I just want my weekends back. So I think time wise, it's hard. And also, like, I do love the kind of videos I make, but it is like I'm writing an essay every week. So that in itself, I'm just like, am I back at school or what's going on? So it's just, I guess, there's just the time that goes into it. Also, just emotionally, because I'm not, like been mentioning, I am, I guess, not the most emotionally secure person in the whole world. So just being open to the internet, having an opinion on what I say, can be quite daunting. I remember, no, nothing.
Do you want to use your pass card? You could.
No, do you know what I was gonna say? I was gonna use an example of a video, but I don't want to talk about that person. That video, No,
is it the one that wears what I'm wearing?
Yeah, it starts with, it rhymes with
it was wine mules. It starts with, sounds like Mevin.
We don't talk about that. Oh gosh. Anyway.
What was it like going through that kind of, not backlash, but kind of reaction in that way, especially from men?
You know what? I expected it. I literally was just like, that video was so well produced. I was so proud of it. But I was like, me and my husband both said it. We were like, are you ready? And we posted it. And I was like, all right, let's get to bed. And I just knew. I literally, because of the nature of his followers. And so it didn't affect me too bad. If it was like unexpected and it was from my girls, I'd be like, oh my gosh. But yeah, no, I expected it, so it wasn't too bad. But I can't lie, even though I wasn't bothered, my body reacted in a way that was like, so yeah.
So Temi said yes, it was such a good video.
Thank you.
We had a question here from JK Julia. How is it balancing work and living life?
So it is a struggle. It is a struggle, I can't lie. Again, why I'm trying to wake up at 5 a.m. and get everything done. I'm not the most structured person. My husband upstairs is the most structured. Like, he loves a spreadsheet and a structure and a timetable and blah blah. And he tells me all the time that, like, if I was to bring some kind of routine into my life, it would make things easier. But the hippie in me is like rebelling against it, but also knowing that it's the truth. So I do think I am slowly becoming that person that tries to be more disciplined, be more structured. That's the only way. Otherwise, just things just fall off.
Yeah, definitely. I was going to ask, lastly, your faith. Why is your faith so important to you? It's something you talk about in your videos, something you don't shy away from at all. Why does your Christian faith mean so much to you, and how has it helped you on a practical level, day to day?
I think it means so much to me because it just, like, it's not a small thing, you know. I think sometimes we don't deep the weight of it, and it's like, no, like, I don't know. When I study the Bible, I deep the sovereignty of God and like who God is. You can't. It can't be a small thing. It is everything. It is everything. It's my whole life kind of thing. And so I think when I deep, because sometimes I fall off, like I'm not really doing what I need to be doing, but at the end of the day, that's not going to change who God is. So I just better, I better just get back on board and really deep that. And I think also just through my life, it's just always been something that has seen me through, as he says he will.
Is there something you can pick out specifically that's helped you through?
Yeah. So now, as a 28-year-old, I'm like, oh, that was nothing. At the time, I remember I was around 14 when I really made the decision to follow Christ by myself, even though I was brought up in a Christian house. And then I'd say around 18, I went through a breakup. That was so dramatic. Like, maybe not to him, but to me, I was just like in my bed, like crying. And I just remember emotionally, I think that was like a tough thing to go through. And I remember at one point being, I'd always go home and I'd be crying. And for some reason, I would be like, God, I'm going to cry and I'm going to cry and I'm going to pray. And I'm not going to stop praying until I'm laughing, which is, I don't know why I said that. But every time I did it, like it would work. As in, I'd be crying. I'd be like, God. And then by the end of it, I'm like, ha, 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 like a crazy woman in my room. And I think that time in my life generally just shaped me so much, and it shaped my faith so much. And I always think back to that time as like a pivotal moment where I was like, oh right, you know, this thing is real.
Yeah. And how do you use it in, I guess, in the wider sense of the world and everything that's happening now? You've got Russia invading Ukraine and all this kind of craziness. How do you find comfort in your faith when so much craziness is going around?
I think it's just it's unfortunately knowing that this world is until Jesus comes back, it's gonna be here. Like war is gonna be a thing. Unfortunately, like human nature, sin is gonna be here. Not to say that it's okay. Obviously, we still pray for these things, but it's letting go of this idea that this world can be perfect. It's literally a fallen world, and it will be that way until one day we go there. So, I think I need to have some resilience in that. Yeah, this is not our home forever. And what's the scripture? In this life we will have trouble. I also sometimes just feel like why am I here? Like I could easily have been born in Ukraine, for example, but like sometimes I'm just like, and I don't know if I should be happy about that, or is that like cheeky of me to be like, oh, I'm so glad it's like not me. But sometimes there's some questions that I don't think we'll ever get the answer to. But I think again, it's just deep in the world that we live in, and unfortunately praying for the world, but also understanding that this world is
crazy. It's crazy. It's crazy. Last question. Your videos, when we think about musicians, one thing that is left forever is their music. And with the advent of more and more content creators and YouTubers especially, when they pass, what is going to be left definitely is their work and what they've created. What for you do you want people to be able to, when it's your time to go to those pearly gates, when they look back on your catalogue and your content, what is that you hope that they see it or that they remember of you?
I hope that it reminds them to think for themselves. I think that's the main thing I want people to take from my content. Is this world is nuts. And it's been nuts. It will always be nuts. And like the trends and the waves and the opinions that like just form across time they can range from amazing, like, oh, this is a great movement, to like, what the heck. And so I think in all those things, don't just go with the flow. Like, actually think about what you believe. Don't just agree with something because the majority agree, or because you're scared that if you don't agree, this will happen and you'll be cancelled or whatever. Like, just think for yourself. Because yeah, some of the things I disagree with, I'm like, I can't believe people agree with this, but they do. And it's easy. They can be, I don't know, what I would deem like the dumbest opinion ever, but if enough people come together collectively and be like, no, this is the right thing, I feel like the world agrees. Like, it's like, especially with social media, it can almost become like one big mob, and it can be used for good, and I think it is used for good a lot, and good opinions are formed out of it. But I just think it's okay to have an opinion just as long as it's your opinion and not just everyone else's opinion.
Yeah, 100%. Well, Adella, thank you so much for joining us this evening, man. You didn't even use your pass card.
Oh yeah, thank you for having me.
No worries. Is there anything you've got coming up that we can plug, that you want to plug, Shay?
Oh, I should have thought about this. Just my videos. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. Adella Afadi.
Do you get tired of saying that?
No, never.
No.
If I'm talking to someone, like, subscribe, just kidding. But I'm not kidding. I've just got some big plans that I'm brainstorming for my channel, and I think it's going to be exciting. So
Nice.
Stay tuned. Stay tuned.
Awesome. Well, thank you for joining us. We wish you a great evening. We got Keith. And yeah, we always say this, that once you feature on this channel, on our platform, then that's it. We support you for life. That's it. Anything you put out there, anything you're promoting, anything you're doing, we're going to be on it and just supporting you all the way. So don't be surprised if you announce anything and we are the first to just retweet it or repost it. We support you. We love what you're doing. You're doing amazing things. You're reaching, you're connecting with people. Continue to absorb that, love that, embrace that, and then give out more and more. And yeah, so much more to come from you. So yeah, we support you. And yeah, all the best.
Thank you. Bye.
All
Do
right.
I leave? Bye. How do I?
Yeah, you gotta go.
Okay, bye.
Guys, thank you so much for joining us for 21 questions. If this is your first time, please let us know how you found it in the comment section. But please make sure you subscribe to her channel. Make sure you follow us. Follow before you leave this live. Make sure you follow. Let us know how you found it. If you came halfway through and you weren't able to watch it all, don't worry. As soon as this finishes, we're going to post it on our front page and you can watch it from top to bottom. Remember, the 1st of March is next Tuesday. We want you to come to our first live event of 2022, which is the Sit Down with Shola Amma. All right, so Shola Amma, the legendary songstress, you might need somebody to... That song. We're going to be having an amazing event in Shoreditch, so we really would love you to come. Click the link in our bio, buy some tickets, come on down, free food, surprises, laughter, joy, great conversation. Come on down and experience it in the live flesh. Thank you to all of you who joined us this evening, and we're going to be back next Thursday, 9 p.m. Follow the Sit Down so you know who the next guest is. All right, my name is IC. I'm the founder and the host of Sitdown UK, and this has been 21 Questions. Peace.